With Ferrari seemingly miles ahead of the competition, at least in terms of points, you could be forgiven for thinking that the team is firmly in control in 2022. However, Ferrari has been in this exact position on multiple occasions in the past years, but has since fallen behind in the development race. So, without further ado, let's discuss Ferrari's plans moving forward and why some are concerned they will repeat the mistakes of the past. Mattia Binotto, Ferrari team principal, has expressed surprise that the Scuderia leads both championships. But the Australian Grand Prix weekend was not without incident, with Carlos Sainz spinning out early at Albert Park. However, rival Red Bull saw Max Verstappen retire late in the race due to a reliability issue, with Leclerc's subsequent Australian Grand Prix victory putting the Scuderia ahead in both championships. Yes, I'm certainly surprised. I think we worked hard and put a lot of priority on 2022. I knew the team was a great team and we improved ourselves compared to the past seasons, and I was hoping to have a competitive car by the start of the season. Then, coming to winter testing, we knew we had a competitive car, but certainly I was not expecting such a good car to start the season. It would be unfair to think that. But I still believe the difference between us and our competitors can be very little, as we've seen over the past weeks, and we should have great fights in the next races. While they're currently leading the championships, Ferrari will not be resting on their laurels as their competitors prepare to engage in a competitive development war to upgrade their cars and close the gap to the Italian team. However, Binotto dismissed speculation that the F175 would be upgraded for the upcoming Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, the first of 3 F1 sprint weekends in 2022. It will be a difficult weekend in terms of bringing upgrades and running them in the Friday practice because you need to focus your setup on the quali in the afternoon. If we look at ourselves, there will not be many upgrades in Imola because it will not be the right place. We tried to mitigate, shall I say, the issue we've got still so far, the porpoising and the bouncing that has affected our performance over the weekend, so we tried to work on that specific point. But with the upgrades, the more significant ones will be later on in the season. Charles Leclerc, who has a 34-point lead in the Drivers' Championship after 3 rounds, said the situation is different from his title bids in Junior Formulae. I've been in this situation in the junior categories, but then to be in this situation in Formula 1 means a lot, especially after the last few years, and especially with a team like Ferrari, so it feels incredible. Obviously, the mindset is a bit different compared to the last 2 years, because now I know that underneath me I've got a car that is capable of winning, and I don't really have to overdo things or to do something extremely special and spectacular to actually get 1 or 2 positions, because I know that's in the car, and I just have to do the job. So the mindset is a little bit different this year. Now, it's been 2 years since the Scuderia has been so involved in the World Championship race. However, if the team wants a bombastic return to form with a couple of titles to boot, it must not repeat its numerous mistakes from yesterday. We're talking about 2017 and 2018, when Sebastian Vettel twice failed to capitalize on a strong start. In 2017, the German-led Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton by the halfway mark, but the Briton pulled away in the second half of the season to win. Vettel started strong again in 2018, winning 5 races before the summer break, but it was Ferrari who lost out in the development battle, with the championship eventually slipping away from them. Development is more important this year than in previous years. There's still a lot of ground to cover because the vehicles are all new. Add to that the budget cap, which means that top teams won't be able to experiment with endless updates, and it's clear how important development will be. Will it be Ferrari's undoing yet again? When asked about the development battle with Red Bull, Leclerc admits that the team is a formidable foe. Last year, the pairing of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez demonstrated their prowess in making good progress with the car, keeping up with Mercedes. In terms of further development, it will be difficult to keep up with Red Bull this year, but the same team that developed this car will continue to develop it, so I'm confident that it will go in the right direction. But overall, the Monegasque remains positive. There's not really a reason to fall behind because our people have done a great job with this car. There are some developments coming, and I'm convinced we're going in the right direction. Furthermore, today's Ferrari is not the Ferrari of 2017 and 2018, with the team better prepared than ever for the challenges ahead, at least according to Leclerc. I don't want to focus too much on other teams, we have to focus on ourselves. The last 2 years I've really seen progression in terms of how we analyse a race weekend, how we identify our weaknesses, and how we try to solve them as quickly as possible. So yes, I'm confident that Ferrari can do well this year in terms of continued development. But as we approach the first European race of the season in Imola, the pressure on Ferrari in its home Grand Prix is palpable, with the Tifosi's expectations at an all-time high. But the Monegasque warns against the team adding extra pressure on itself for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Oh yeah, I can imagine it, but I don't want to think about it too much because it's still very early in the season. Obviously, it's good to be in the lead of the championship. I think I lead by 37 or 34 points. 34, it's okay. 34 points is always good to take wherever you are in the calendar, but yeah, I don't want to focus too much on the championship for now. Italy will be incredible, but we need to approach the race weekend just like we approached the first 3 weekends. I think it's extremely important not to put on ourselves extra pressure and not try to overdo things, because we're working, I think, as a team extremely well since the beginning of the season, and yeah, we just need to keep doing our job just like we did in the first 3 weekends. So far, the 2022 campaign has been all about Leclerc, with the Ferrari driver earning 71 points out of a possible 78. Long regarded as a potential world champion, Leclerc has emerged as the clear favourite to win the title this year. He's obviously benefiting greatly from Ferrari's mastery of the new Formula 1 regulations with the F175 car. But Christian Klein, who competed in 49 Grand Prix for Jaguar, Red Bull and Hispania between 2004 and 2010, believes much of the success is down to Leclerc himself. Leclerc already showed what he can do against Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari at the beginning of his career. Okay, Carlos Sainz is also good, but now the car is good enough to win. Leclerc's exceptional talent comes to the fore. It's like Verstappen, he has that quality too. I think driving wise, Leclerc is on a similar level as Verstappen. I'm thinking of the races in Bahrain or Jeddah. You could definitely see Charles is ripe to have a say in the title. Leclerc can now draw on his considerable lead in the World Championship standings, but there have been years in Formula 1 when big gaps have been closed. Meanwhile, David Coulthard says Leclerc's blisteringly fast start to the season reminds him of a driver with 7 world titles, Michael Schumacher. I had a little bit of a shiver actually, a flashback to when Michael was dominant in the Ferrari. We've got to acknowledge he's a quality driver, a great human being. Ferrari have worked hard, and Mattia Binotto, what a cool character he's been under all the pressure of the lack of performance over the last 2 years. But all eyes are now on Max Verstappen, who's aiming to retaliate against his championship rival and re-establish his title defense bid. At this point, Verstappen trails Leclerc by 46 points, and while there are still 20 races left, fellow Dutch racer Tom Coronel has warned Verstappen that his performance in the next race at Imola will be crucial. With a second place in the first race, a win, and now again in second place, Verstappen had the speed, and that's what it's about. But yes, that also means if you give away twice that amount of points, you have a serious problem. But in the end, you want to have a fight with 2 different teams. Like it was at the beginning of last year, that was of course mega. Then the dime could fall in a different direction every week with Mercedes and Red Bull. That's what Formula 1 wants, and for that, Imola just becomes crucial. I thought Red Bull would already do something about the weight for Australia, but Imola is where the biggest upgrades come. So the question there is, are they there or not? So, what are your thoughts on Ferrari's lead thus far in the championship? Will they keep their lead for the foreseeable future, or will it slip away like in previous years? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.